Hello again, friends. I am Caroline with Thriving Abroad Expat Interviews, and today I have the honor and an absolute pleasure of the company of Miss Antonella Bundu from Italia. And I can't tell you how emotional it is for me to have an opportunity to speak with her. I could spend a half an hour just telling you some of the things that this woman has done and things that she does. Thank you so much, Antonella, for being with us. I wanted especially to talk with you because, and we only have a limited amount of time, but you are, a woman that I think every woman should have a chance to meet. You were born in Italy. Your parents, your dad was an expat to Italy. You have such a wonderful history growing up as an expat yourself. Could you just tell us a little bit about growing up, what it was like to be in a mixed family?
Yes, okay. Thank you so much for having me here, and thank you for the choice of words you use as well. Because when you're talking about my when you introduced me, talking about my history, you said my dad was an expat. So I think that's the real word. That's the true word to use. Because normally here in Italy, as long as you're from Africa, you're an immigrant. You're not considered an expat. So expats are normally the Europeans who go to Africa, whilst the Africans who come to Europe are considered as immigrants, with all the negativity involved in the word immigrants, especially now. Okay, well, my father came to Florence, Italy in the 60s, 1960s. He came with a scholarship to study. He studied architecture here in Florence, where he met my mother, and my mother was studying mathematics in university, and she gave him maths lessons. My mother's from Florence, Italy, and that's how they met, and that's how the family grew. So I have an older brother who's 5 years older than me, and a younger brother. And when I was 2 years old, we moved over to Sierra Leone, West Africa, Freetown. That's where I didn't actually grow up only in Freetown, Sierra Leone, because it was mainly like maybe a year in Freetown and then a year back in Italy and back and forth till I was about 17. So at the beginning, it was a bit difficult actually to like move from a country to another, but then you get used to it. You learn so many things from different cultures. It's enriching anyway. And then when I would interrupt me whenever you want to,
Sure.
then I'll just
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. And then when I was 17, after I'd finished my O levels and I was doing my A levels in Sierra Leone, I moved over to Liverpool in England, where I worked and I studied as well. And I worked as a librarian in a Black History workshop. And then, I worked in a Black History workshop, and I was a librarian as well in a library that had books from Caribbean authors, African authors, from Afro-descendant authors. And it was, I'm talking about the late 80s, 1980s in Liverpool, in Toxteth. It was really, it was kind of rough, let's say. It was a situation where you had, there was a lot of racial tension. And in the area where we were living, you had to actually decide where you would decide to stay. You had to like be a partisan, take part, and politically you had to anyway have a say, or at least you'd hear, like situations going on. It was the years when you had Le Pen in France. I don't know if you remember Le Pen father, not the Le Pen, the National Front and everything. And so that's where my political awareness grew, and I started becoming active. And from there, I only lived in Liverpool for about 3 years, and then I moved back to Italy, to Florence, where I started university, and I did languages. And here in Italy as well, in the 90s, there was a lot of, it was really lively, as in politically, musically, And so that's how my, if we're coming to the fact that now I'm in politics now, that's how my that's how everything grew, you know. That's how my love for being active politically grew. And until, I'll just make it short, a year and a half, 2 years ago, I became like the well, I stood for mayor in my hometown in Florence, Italy. I was the only woman. I was the only Black woman. It was 9 people standing for mayor. And although I didn't win, we were the 3rd political force who came out from Florence, which is one of the largest cities here in Italy. I was the first Black woman standing for mayor in a large Italian city. So I think, I think it was a big challenge as well. And I hope this will be like a starting point for many others to come, because there's a huge community of people who are who have different origins here in Italy, but who are not considered as Italians, unfortunately. Although we have the Italian citizenships, but still it's quite hard for us to be considered, not only politically, but on the whole. And then we'll talk about it later if you, I don't know.
Sure. So just adding to that, so you're saying that expat, let's say foreigners who come to Italy and have children, the children of expats there are not really integrated into society as, say, someone who is.
No.
Okay.
No,
so
we have,
that
even now we have.
Is it classism or is it maybe racism? What would you say?
I would say there's still, because Italy has not really come to terms with the fact of its being of the colonialism, of even at the end of the Second World War, you know, at the end of fascism, it was better for them to like sweep everything under the carpet and pretend it never happened. So we must remember we had racial laws here in Italy. So we're talking about Jews, we're talking about Black people, we're talking about the discrimination, we're talking about Italians who in different countries, let's say even in the United States, they're not really, some people don't even consider them like the typical white people, but here they had a law to state that they were, you know, classic white, and whilst all the others were inferior. So obviously that's not the case at the moment, but we still do have this feeling that other people, other cultures, other countries, let's say like the United States or England or even France, had a colonial past, while Italy has not come to terms with its past. But still, they let's say the Italians, I'm not talking obviously about everyone, but mainly you have the politics, they tend to like set the people who do not have an Italian look on the side. So me, I was born Italian because here in Italy, the law is that you become Italian if by blood. So it's called jus sanguinis. So even if you're born in Italy, even if you haven't seen any other country, even if you haven't lived anywhere else, you have the citizenship is really difficult to have here in Italy. And it's been in Parliament, and they've been discussing the law, which has not still been how do you say, the reform? I don't know how.
Reforms.
That's the word.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yes, the reform is still in the Parliament. They still have to vote for it, and you still have people who won't allow, let's say, second generation, as they would say, Italians to be considered as real Italians. So that's a big problem now. That's what we're fighting for now at the moment. There's a
That's okay. You're back.
I am sorry.
That's okay. You're back.
There was a call coming in. Anyway, so that's one of the main problems here politically. And you still, there's a kind of racism which is kind of how would you say, in Italian it's called istituzionalizzato, institutionalized. I don't know if that's the correct word to say. So it's I think there's a lot of work to do. Although Italy is obviously it's a beautiful country, and Italy is a country of mixed cultures. It has been so for centuries. And we're just trying here in, not only here in Florence, obviously, but almost everywhere in Italy to let people be aware of the fact that Italian culture is so rich because of all the positive and also the negative things that were brought from elsewhere. So an example I would like to give you is, for example, here in we have the Uffizi Gallery, which is one of the most important museums in the world, where lately we were trying to, well, with Black History Month Florence, they were trying to show people, to have an exhibition where they would show people the Black presence in the centuries, you know. So you have in all the, like in the statues, in the portraits, you'd have princes, and not only princes, obviously, who were portrayed in centuries. And I think this is a powerful project which shows Italians as well, but not only Italians, the importance of all the cultures that were mixed and were brought together to create let's say the greatness of Italy, because anyway, Italy culturally is quite an important country, I would say, in the world. But we have to realize that it's important, as I was saying, also because of every of the different cultures coming together. So that's what we're trying to portray.
I like that. I like what you just said. Do you feel as a child of the motherland, do you feel that, because this is a question that many women, especially that would like to expat from different places, but primarily say from the United States, we always hear that the motherland, Sierra Leone, other countries are the place to go. But do you, in your opinion, do you feel that we can integrate, for example, there is a community of Blacks, expats in Italy. Do you feel that it's important that we also choose places that we can communicate, that we can make our own communities outside of the motherland? Do you feel that it's possible? Like, for example, what you're doing, you're bringing
Yes.
so much awareness to the fact that, yes, racism exists here, but I mean, do you feel a need for us to just say, hey, don't let it stop you from coming here?
I think exactly. No, I think it's important. I think that's important. That would be a good step to do, because it's a challenge anyway, but it's important as well. It's not only important for ourselves who travel, but it's important as well for the people who we get to meet, for the communities we get to live into, because as I was saying, Florence is considered a large city in Italy, obviously nothing compared to large cities in the States, but there is a community which is a Black community, mainly from Senegal, or you do have some Nigerians. Well, you don't have that many Sierra Leoneans, but we need to not really integrate as you'd say, integrate as in leave your culture, but I think it could be, if you get to know each other, if we get to know each other, we get to learn from each other. As in now, I think in Florence, as I was saying, we all know each other. So it's, I think it's it's really positive to be able to be part of another culture, to be able to give into this same culture, and to be able to take as well. I think Florence and Italy has, on the whole, they have so much to give to many people that you don't only have to wish to go back to the motherland. Obviously, the motherland is the motherland. If not, it wouldn't be called the motherland. But I think it's very important for people to be able to be at ease, and also to be able to learn, and to be able to embrace other cultures. And I think Italy has a lot to give as well. So yes, I would definitely advise people to not just to come and go as in tourists, to try and live, to settle, to try and not only understand how the Italians are, but to also give a lot to Italy. Because as I was saying, I think Italy, compared to many other countries, is really a mixture of cultures compared to other European countries or others. So I think, yes, I think we should continue this trend. So yes, I definitely would encourage people to come over to Naples, to Rome, to Sicily, Florence as well. Yes, obviously.
Yes, so I know that a lot of women don't, and men, we don't always put Italy on the top of our list as far as places that we would like to expat to. So it was very nice
You
to hear
don't?
your, well, it's not one of the most popular. It is on the list, but I'm just making a short list. Maybe the top 5 or top 6 places. Most people don't think of Italy, which is one reason that I was very interested in talking with you and hearing your perspective as far as an expat coming to live there, from a different culture. How do you feel, about them being able to integrate? Some countries that in fact, there's a lot of Asian countries that people have on their list, but they're not really the best places for us to go to really, become a community and feel part of the community. So I not that Italy is not, on the list, but it's not maybe the top choices, I guess, because of the unknown. Many people don't know.
May
Yes,
I? Like
sure.
at the end of the 19th century, there were quite a lot of Black women from the States as well who moved over to Italy and to Florence as well, who have left something concrete, as in you have sculptures, and you have a lot of artists who passed through Italy at the end of the 19th century, who you can still see walking through Florence. You can see the art they left and everything. And I think at the end of the 19th century, they were considered, even though, as obviously at the end of the 19th century, you did have a lot of prejudice more against Black people. But here in Italy, they found, as in artistically, they did find, I wouldn't say paradise, but they did find something positive, which would have led us to believe that from the end of the 19th century to now it would be a fantastic period. Instead, unfortunately, we have had lately a kind of a return of racism or fascism. But as I was saying, if you do come to Italy, you can see I don't know the English word for it. It's called apporto.
The warmth, the welcome.
The welcome as well, yes. The welcome, the warmth. Okay, yes, and obviously, especially down south in Italy, they're really like warm and welcome, and as in you do find generous people. And as I was saying, I've lived elsewhere, I've traveled quite a lot. I think a positive thing I can say about Italy is that they are, like, when they get to know you, they're really generous and open and warm, which is, I think, much warmer compared to other European countries. So yes, I think, and Italy is beautiful as well. I'm surprised you're saying it's not like on the top of the countries one would like to.
No, I didn't say it. No, I didn't say that it wasn't on the top because of for negative. I meant for popular expat donations, like, for example, Thailand or Africa. Some countries in Africa are just some of the top places that you hear expats always put on their list, in their short list. When they said, okay, I'm thinking of moving somewhere, they'll say, maybe Asia or closer in the Americas, but we don't always hear Italy. And not that Italy is not the perfect place, but it's just not always on the top list. And I guess this is great, information for us to know that maybe we do need what you said and evolve. We need to start to evolve and maybe do, put it up a little bit higher on the list of places that might be wonderful
No,
locations.
culturally, and also even if you just enjoy being, even if you just enjoy looking at the landscape, or visiting museums, or eating good food, or meeting people who are really generous. No, I think Italy could be a very good place to to come visit, obviously. And if one's thinking about not only visiting but moving to a country, I think Italy does need different cultures to move into Italy, so Italy can continue to be what it was born like, and what I hope it will be in the future. So a mixture of cultures.
Great, great. That's good to know. So now we're going to have to do a little bit of up Italy, up.
You
So
have to, yes.
I'm so excited that we had a chance to talk. The last thing I wanted to ask you, any chance that you will continue the next round? I mean, any future plans to for candidacy?
Well,
Try
for
again?
now, yes, for now I'm a consigliere, what's it called? I am part of the administration, the
Oh, you
local
are. Okay.
administration. Yes, I am. So I still have about 3.5 more years. As soon as we get closer to the 3.5 more years, then I'll let you know. But yes, I suppose I'm not so sure what I'll be in 3 years, 3.5 years. But for now, we are working hard as a group. So I hope we'll be able to continue working for Florence and Italy.
And I want to thank you so much for your time. I know it's very valuable.
Thank you.
And please know, across the river here, I'm in Mexico, but wherever we are going to support
I
you.
love Mexico.
Spirit. Do you? Well,
Yes.
you have a home here next time you travel this way. And please know that we send you much love and support for all that you do for women, for for just making your corner of the world a better place. Thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you, Caroline. Thank you for having me. Okay, take care. See you in
Bye.
Mexico.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.